Kṛṣṇa is bound by the love of his devotees. Mother Yaśodā has bound Kṛṣṇa with ropes. Because of his mischievous behavior, then it was necessary to restrain him, restrict him. So the appropriate way to do that is to bind him, tie him. So Mother Yaśodā attempted to tie him. And she gathered some rope from the house, and she wrapped it around him and went to tie him to a mortar, but the rope was just a little bit too short. So she fetched one more piece of rope, tied it to that. That made a sufficient length. Wrapped it around Kṛṣṇa's waist in the mortar. She wants to tie him to a mortar. The mortar is very heavy, made of stone. The rope was just a little bit too short. She fetched another piece of rope, tied it to that one, wrapped it around his waist in the mortar. It remained just a little bit too short. In this way, she fetched all the rope in her hand. And still the rope was too short. Then she called for the neighboring ladies to bring the rope which they might have, because all the cowherders, they have rope. So all the ladies of Vrindavan came with their rope. It is mentioned somewhere, I read, that Mother Yaśoda's house looked like a rope market. There was so much rope in the house. But even after tying all the lengths together, so maybe it was hundreds and hundreds of yards of rope, still attempting to wrap it once around Kṛṣṇa's waist, the two ends would not need to tie up. So different purports are given there. What is that form of Kṛṣṇa? It is infinity. It is infinite. And that cannot be measured by any length of any measurement in this world. Neither does Kṛṣṇa allow himself to be bound. He is not bound. Living entities as ourselves, we are bound by two things, good and bad. If we do bad, we're bound by that. And if we do good, we are bound by that. If we do so much good, we are bound to go to heaven. If we do so much bad, well, they say we're bound to go to the other place, the opposite direction. Some call it hell. Some place where it's not so pleasant. But if you do good, you're bound to go to heaven, place which is very wonderful. So Kṛṣṇa is not bound by good or bad. If he does good, he doesn't get a reaction for that coming, some good benefit. If he does bad, so-called bad, also no reaction. So he cannot be bound by anything of this world. But then in the last moment, seeing the great endeavor of his mother, Mother Yaśodā, her love for Kṛṣṇa is unparalleled in the world. It is called Vatsalya. The type of love that she has for Kṛṣṇa is unparalleled in the world. It is said that to remove even a drop of sweat from Kṛṣṇa's forehead, she is ready to actually die millions of times, sacrifice her life, actually sacrifice her life, that her child should not even endure that much trouble in the world. Sweat means you're working hard. There's some burden is there. You're carrying a burden and some sweat comes. So just to remove one drop of sweat, she's ready to sacrifice her life tens of thousands, even millions of times, if necessary. So, just like little boys that like to torment their mothers, huh? I heard that even in this world, some boys, they used to keep a list how many times they could torment their mothers in a month to make them scream. Oh, where does this come from, this mischievous childhood behavior? It comes from Kṛṣṇa. He's also like that. So he's, in a sense, tormenting. Not tormenting, but he's causing Mother Yaśodā to show her affection. And he's enjoying that. He's the enjoyer of the devotee's love for him. So seeing his mother try so hard and all the ladies together, and they became kind of besides themselves. They were working so hard. Their hair became this way and that way. They're trying so hard. Then he allowed the ropes to be tied, and he was then tied to the mortar. But how was he bound? Was he bound by the ropes Obviously not. There were thousands of meters of rope. What bound him? What tied him? What captured him? That was the love of his devotees. So he is captured and he is bound by the love of his devotees. So you can do things to improve your life, to get those things which are your necessities, those things which you need, those things which you want. You see, it's generally called work. We have to work. Then we will get something. So there are things which some people want that are higher than what you can get in a store. For those things, you have to do what's called tapasya. Tapasya means to control your senses. There are various types of tapasyas. Fasting, for example, is a tapasya. Performing meditation is a tapasya. Performing asana. Asana means yoga posture. Regulation of the breath, pranayama. These are different types of tapasyas. Also studying the Holy Scriptures. This is a type of tapasya. So these tapasyas, they will give you various things. Like you've heard me say many times, if you say something to someone that you're going to do that, you're going to do something, then fulfill your words. Do it. And then your words will have meaning. You will gain an inner strength. Like they say in this country, when the Europeans came here, everything they said was a lie. You see? But the Indian, if he said something, his word was good. They understood the value of your words, of the truth, speaking the truth, the power of the truth. Those who tell lies, actually they attract disease. They reduce their duration of life. And all sorts of things. Even their wealth goes away. So by doing various things, you can improve your standard of life. Morality. Morality leads to many unpleasant things, even disease, so much disruption from immorality. For morality, righteousness, character is developed, and so many desirable things. But then again, that's still in this world. So some yogis and people like that, they desire something beyond this world. They desire the heavenly planets. They want to see other regions, spectacular regions of the universe. They want to go there. So they perform tapasya. There's a place called Mogambika. If we went there today, November, okay, go there in about 30 days, and you'll see all types of people at this temple sitting in meditation. They'll come, they'll stay 6 months. They'll just hang around. You'll see them by the river. They're doing different things. Some are making offerings, some are making prayers, some are doing chantings. They're doing different things. And they're all there for one thing, mystic power. There are, how many? 6 or 8? Astasiddhi. There are 8 varieties of mysticism in yoga. And this is one famed place that if you perform austerity there very rigidly, then you fix your mind on one of these mystic realms, you may acquire that siddhi. It's called Mogambika. And it's related to Shankaracharya. Nearby he used to do his meditations and so forth. It's considered to be a very powerful place in that regard. So, some want that mystic power, some want the heavenly planet, some want to see the universe, some want even Vaikuntha. But here it is said that the devotees of Kṛṣṇa, we don't want any of those things. We're not after increasing our material opulence. We're not after going to the heavenly planets, enjoy long duration of life, mystic power, even Vaikuntha. But the devotees, they have one hope in their heart. They perform so many services, and those services require austerities also. They have one hope, one prayer. They, as it is said here, if you may be pleased to show me, if you may be pleased, then please reveal yourself, your pastimes. And particularly here, it's mentioned your childhood pastimes in Vrindavan. But otherwise, the devotees have no other aspiration. Service for the sake of service. Not service for doing something, getting something. Service for the sake of service. It makes you feel good all over, right? Service. When you actually sacrifice and doing something for Kṛṣṇa, it will get right down to the tingle in every pore and hair of your being. Right through your mind, intelligence, every atom in your body can feel transcendental happiness. Service for the sake of service. But service that when we want something in return for the service, that's called bartering with Kṛṣṇa. He doesn't care much for the bartering. Bartering means, all right, my dear Lord, I'll serve you, but I want this in return. You have to give me what I want also. Then we won't experience much in the realm of service in that way. Service must be selfless, for the pleasure of Kṛṣṇa only. So next, who will read the next one? O Lord, your lotus face. Doesn't care for any other benediction. If he can see the beautiful face of Kṛṣṇa, this is a fulfillment of all his desires. And what to speak of seeing Kṛṣṇa? Some people say, you cannot see that no man has seen the face of God and lived. Srila Tirtharamar said, is he that ugly? Is he so ugly that when you saw him you died? What is the meaning of that? The meaning is that there is so much beauty, there is so much charm, there is so much sweetness in the face of Kṛṣṇa, in anything related to Kṛṣṇa, but particularly we're talking the face of Kṛṣṇa, that if anyone has the darshan of Kṛṣṇa, he's no more for this world. No more for this world. He will not live in this world of suffering anymore. It is not possible to have darshan of Kṛṣṇa and at the same time just live in this world of wretchedness. Wretchedness. It's all it is the world of wretchedness. Struggle for existence. One living thing against the other. You fight the heat, you fight the cold, you fight the neighbors, you fight amongst yourselves, you even fight within yourself. Fight, 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 fight. Nobody goes to the lifts without the ticket. Everything is give and take, and it's mostly taking. It's not a friendly place, this world. Kṛṣṇa and Kṛṣṇa's world, just the opposite. The most friendly environment, the most pleasing environment, the most charming environment. Madhuram, 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 madhuram. Everything about Kṛṣṇa is madhu, sweet, sweet and sweet. Sweeter still. And particularly, it is his face which is the sweetest of all. So no man or woman, no one has seen the face of God and then remained happy to live in this world more. Okay, next. The devotee finds everything in relation to Kṛṣṇa to be very wonderful. Here a prayer is given to the rope, the effulgent rope. Can it be an ordinary rope? No. It must be some divine rope. One will wonder what capacity the rope is done to be wrapped around the belly of Kṛṣṇa. What to do to achieve that position? The gopis, Kṛṣṇa's gopis, they wonder, whoa, the flute of Kṛṣṇa. Oh, where's the flute? Anyway.
It's in his belt.
It's in the belt. They wonder what austerities, what pious activities, how the good fortune, the flute has come always to be in the embrace. He is always kissed about Kṛṣṇa. What did he do to achieve that position? So the devotee wonders about all things in relation to Kṛṣṇa. And we should remember also that there are no inanimate things in relation to Kṛṣṇa. Everything in the spiritual world is animate. Animate means living. Here, the inanimate world. Nothing is here. Wood. You cannot do anything, can't say anything. It's just inanimate, understand? Then if there's a mouse or a cat or something, is a living thing, or a plant is a living thing. But so many inanimate things we have in this world. But in Krishna's world, in Vrindavan, nothing inanimate. Everything is living. No unconscious matter. Everything is fully conscious there. Water is conscious. Milk is conscious. Milk and sweet rice and sugar together sometimes while being cooked by Mother Yaśodā talks. The sweet rice talks. Trees walk. Krishna's pastimes go to one place, and trees get up and move to the next place where Krishna's pastimes. And no one screams in horror. You can imagine if you saw a tree move through the forest here, everyone would scream in horror because some fear of death. Immediately, the aliens would arrive. Some fear. In that world, no fear. Any tree provides any type of fruit, any quantity of fruit, according to the wish of the devotee. Wonderful. All wondrous. Oh, but why should we believe that? But yet we want to alter all the types of food in the world by radiation, playing with seeds, and we want to create different types of foods and fruits. We want to do that even with species of life. We want to clone. We want to play with life. Well, why not the creator of all life? He can do anything. He can create any type of life. And in his place, he's created trees that are not limited, that they only give one type of fruit. Here you can graft certain types or pollinate in a certain way. You'll get a little variation from a tree or something like that. You'll get some variation of another type of fruit. A little bit that can be done here. But in Vrindavan, unlimitedly. So, where's the point there? All things wonderful in relation to Krishna. And the devotees are always amazed by that. Krishna's peacock feather is in the most enviable position. How he rides upon the crown of Krishna. Krishna. All these things. That is a living thing. Krishna's flute. He has at least 4 or more varieties of flutes. Some are made of marble, some are made of bamboo, some are made of other wood. They are at different lengths. They are tuned differently. There's varieties of flutes. Each has its own name. His buffalo horn, his conch shell, his chakra, all these things. They're all living entities, living things, fully conscious. So the conscious world, the world of Krishna, Krishna consciousness, Krishna in the center, all things devoted to him, all things dedicated to him. We saw a film the other day. Did we see it, Krishna Kirtan, here or in Nevada, Columbus?
Nevada,
in California. We saw a film on Columbus, documentary, docudrama on Columbus, right? And there was one part of that where they were looking for paradise on earth. Paradise on earth. And they finally found the Caribbean Sea. Varieties of tropical birds, things they'd never seen. Later we discussed, there were some fellows, they were here in America, they were looking for the fountain of youth. The fountain of youth was said to be at one time in Florida. It was rumored that there was a spring. If you drank water from that spring, you obtained eternal youth. Eternal youth. Paradise on earth. We saw another documentary. It had to do with the evolution of civilization. The Egyptians and the Greeks and the Romans and the Persians and everything. And it was said how everyone was trying to create that pleasure garden on earth, that place on earth, as good as the gods enjoy, so to speak. So we're also not different than that. But our goal is a little bit higher. What do we want to create? We want to create that spiritual plane on earth. Not just heaven on earth, paradise enjoying on earth, but that spiritual dimension. We want to create that on earth. That is possible. That is called Krishnized. we say in English, Krishnized. If you use an object for Kṛṣṇa, it's no longer considered a material object. All the paraphernalia, the bell, the artik lamp, the cup, the vase, all these things, when you engage them in Kṛṣṇa service, they become ananda. They are directly manifestations of anandasation. That is why anything used for Kṛṣṇa is not thrown away in the ordinary sense, into the garbage. Things which are used for Kṛṣṇa directly, his clothing, flowers, they are to be discarded in a more respectful way. They are to be placed in the ocean, in the river, in the forest, under the trees, something like this. You follow? Because there is a divinity there. A divinity there. A place where Kṛṣṇa is served becomes as good as Vaikuntha. And a place where Kṛṣṇa is not served, well, that's just another place in the world. So, we are like that. We want to create that situation on earth where everything is harmonious, where Kṛṣṇa is the center and everything is used for his service and for his pleasure. That's what your parents have been trying to do since before you were born. That's why they have an altar in their home. That's why they offer food to Kṛṣṇa with the hope of creating a spiritual environment where consciousness can develop, both theirs and yours. You follow? Good. So, that's right, there were 8 prayers, Dāmodara. So, in this is called the month of Damodara. A lot of very nice things happened in this month. The month of Damodara is also called Kartik month. And the Kartik is, this name Kartik is derived from Kartika, which is another name of Radharani, whose mother's name is Kirtida. Kirtida, Kartika, Kartik. The daughter of Queen Kirtida. That is Radharani. And this month is her month. In this month, Radhakund, the lake Radhakund, it became manifest in this month. The Rasa-lila, Ras Purnima, that is in Kartik month. Kṛṣṇa lifted the Govardhana hill on today. That is in Kartik month. Many auspicious things in Kartik month. It is we call it over here the harvest moon. Jaydev saw it last 2 weeks ago, the harvest moon. It's considered to be one of the bigger and brighter full moons of the year. The harvest season, the festive season, the time of plenty and all these things. That is the Kartik month. And it is especially good for...
It's a clock.
The birds have come along. No, it's true, but I didn't think it would happen so animately. The what was that?
Kartik harvest.
The harvest season. All these things are associated with Kartik, with the Kartik. So, why Kṛṣṇa? What is the meaning that Kṛṣṇa lifted Govardhana hill? What is the meaning? Today he lifted Govardhana hill. Previously, all over the world, 5,000 years ago, and even back before you come to the Egyptians, Kṛṣṇa appeared between the Egyptians and the Greeks in India. The Greeks were 10,000 years plus, and Kṛṣṇa was 5,000 years. So during these times, even up into the Roman times, people all over the world were prone to worship many gods. Not just in India, all over the world. The Egyptians had so many. The Greeks had so many. Like this. They worshipped so many gods. They worshipped the god of the sky. They worshipped the god of war. They worshipped the god of fertility. They worshipped the god of the god or goddesses, what it may be, of the harvest or the seasons. So many there were. There are, actually. Of all things, there are predominating deities. Education, Ganesh. Music, Saraswati. Or learning, Saraswati. Seasons, rain, Indra. There are many types. The sun, fire, Agni, the fire. The sun, Surya. The moon, Chandra. There are many. So all over the world, and particularly in India, everyone was prone to worship all these many demigods as they were. And even those who worshiped the Supreme Being, Vishnu, they were also prone to do that. Well, Krishna's appearance was to demonstrate, amongst other things, that there's no need to worship other demigods, other predominating deities. Only I am to be worshipped. I am the Supreme Being, the one Supreme Being, and everything should be offered to me. There's no necessity to worship any other demigod. So, every year at that time, the villagers in Vrindavan, they would prepare a big sacrifice for Indra. Because Indra is the giver of rains, which enable them to grow their crops and so forth. And by which the grasses grow, and the cows are taking the grasses and everything like that. And Krishna appeared just when this big sacrifice and offering, and he requested his father, it's better, simply let's offer everything to Govardhana Hill. Because if you think of it, it's Govardhana Hill that gives the grass. I mean, Govardhana Hill grows the grass. And it's the grass that the cows need. It's by the cows that we are wealthy, we're a cow herders. So it is actually Govardhana. And there are many streams from Govardhana by which we get water from our fields. And in this way, Krishna spoke. I say it was a big conversation. And he spoke in such a way, and everyone was so charmed, and they decided, yes, let us all worship Govardhana Hill. Then, what happened? Indra, who's there in the heavenly planets, he's called the King of Heaven, he's prepared to receive these offerings, and suddenly everything is being offered to Govardhana Hill. So then, King Indra sent his forces, his rain clouds, and his, what is that one called? Samvartaka. That's the big one. That's the one that comes in at the time of universal destruction, Samvartaka. And he ordered all his fury. In other words, Indra threw his might against the little village of Vrindavan. Hurricane and more force winds, tidal flooding, just huge destruction. And everyone came to Govardhana Hill for shelter. Head for the high ground. You see, all the people, the cows, the peacocks, the animals, the birds, everything was moving towards Govardhana for shelter. And by this, Krishna was only, I think, 6 or 8 years old, something like that. And he had dispensed with a number of demons prior to this. And there were rumors about him. Well, he himself may be a demigod. He may be even Lord Vishnu. At any rate, he's very powerful and he's very lucky. He kills many demons. And everyone turned to Kṛṣṇa for protection. So when Indra was throwing his might against Vrindavan, Kṛṣṇa reached over with his left hand. His right hand is strong. Most people are right-handed. Right hand is the power hand. The left is a little weaker. So he reached over with his left hand and his little finger, and he just caught the edge of Govardhana Hill, and he raised the 7-mile-long mountain, which was so high in that time. And then maybe he just eked it over until he was in the center of it, something like that. Left hand and little finger. He raised Govardhana Hill. That's a massive umbrella. So the meaning is there that with his most negligible endeavor, he can give all protection to his devotees and defeat any opposing elements, even those thrown upon him by the King of Heaven, Indra. And believe me, those are powerful living beings. You can see what the storms can do, what the hurricanes can do, what those spinning funnels, what are they called, tornadoes, what they can do. But just with one hand, little thing that Krishna has given protection. And underneath, there were howling winds were all around. 150, 200 mile an hour winds. Under Govardhana Hill, no wind. And Krishna was standing with his little finger. Then the cowherd boys, they wanted to get in on the act too. So they all raised their sticks and stuck them up next to the hill. We're there too. We're helping out. And Krishna was happy to see that. So, but the meaning is that Krishna, with his just little endeavor, he can give all protection, all shelter to his devotees. So there's no need to fear in approaching Krishna. No need to fear that you will be in want or loss or anything. Although, test is there. That's true. Test is there. Test is there. We may be put to test in different ways. Individually, collectively, definitely we are put to test. There are so many tests. And these tests, it's like if somebody goes for some particular training, rigorous training, sport, military, whatever it is, there are many tests. It's not a game. There are many tests. They have to pass the test. Written tests, physical tests, all types of tests. So why? The tests are designed that you will achieve more. Achievement. So, Krishna is not interested in our material development so much, but our spiritual achievement. So he puts tests before us. Tests that require us to have faith in him, to surrender to him, to believe in him, to remember him. Now you'd think that by the time Mother Kunti and Draupadi, who were queens and princesses, by the time they got out of the forest, you'd think they'd have said, we had enough of that. They were living in the forest without any royal opulence, a life of utter hardship from day till night for many, many years. How many? 14 plus years. But in the end, Queen Kunti said, let all those problems, calamities, and disturbances, let them come again and again and again. She wasn't praying, I'm so happy they're gone now, and I'll live the life of luxury. She prayed, let all those problems come again and again and again. Because in each and every instance, we were able to remember the Supreme Lord, and quickly he came to our rescue. You follow? So Krishna is sheltering his devotees by lifting Govardhana. Giriraj Maharaj.
Vani.